Greetings folks, stick and stones may break your bones, but internal bleeding will do much worse. And since you clicked on this video, I assume that you are a generous person that believes that pain is not just a gift, but something to be shared with others, because if you suffered, why shouldn't they? This build was pitched in by Alex Sudakov 6209, so if you end up liking it, make sure to say thank you daddy Alex Uwu. Okay, now that I crashed my view retention rate with no survivors, let's talk about the AdSense. Sorry, I meant the build. First of all, this build is going to be very new, player friendly, featuring literally no cost in upgrades and an incredibly easy leveling, yes, even in veteran, as it requires you to only pay attention to not run out of mana and dodge those obvious hits. Plus, you can even afford to keep points and perks in practicality for gold making without needing to pop Origin Potion, which is something that a lot of people keep asking, because after all, like real life, in Fall of Avalon we actually have affordable housing, you just pay with the blood of your enemies. However, my setup is a little different, because we are going to also stack a lot of bleed through triple dipping, because otherwise enemies that are immune to poison and burning, like the Stalker, are going to make you want to chew glass. Also, all undead are immune to poison, so it is what it is. Okay, Pasta. But how does everything work without you rambling for 30 minutes about pointless stats in a video game? Okay, hear me out. Poison and burning are virtually the same thing. Both will inflict a non-stacking debuff that deals 2% HP per second, while bleed instead is a flat damage increase that will stack exponentially with every stack refreshing the duration and inflicting at 0.6 damage per second. Easy, right? Thanks to spells with multi-projectiles, like Merlin Thorns, Winter's Rot, or Poison Spray, we apply a stack of bleed for each projectile shot, at a maximum of 4 stacks for a projectile. Well, Pasta, this doesn't sound like a lot. Well, it is actually, and it ramps up very fast. However, with just some gear changes, you can radically alter how this build is played, so if you don't want to play with bleed, then it's fine either way. In this build I will feature gear location, early leveling, attributes and perks. Let's begin. Okay, let's look at our gear. First of all, our main wand is Wand of Festering Rot. It's from Act 1, super easy to get. This one will enable poisoning enemies much faster. Now, in case the enemy is immune to poison and we are not in Act 3 yet, so we can get our Heart of a Flame, then we will have to use Wand of Lingering Ash if you want to burn stuff easier. So, Wand of Lingering Ash is also from Act 1, but Pasta, where are they? I will show it in the timestamp later, don't worry. Our main spell is Poison Spray, very amazing damage, super early spells, a little mana costly at the beginning. Merlin's Thorn will generate many more projectiles than Poison Spray. However, it doesn't have a built-in status application, so you will lose on that one. And you will need to do heavy casting to generate 7 projectiles. Is also from Act 1. Winter's Crown Rot shoots 5 projectiles, however the range is not super high, however it has a freezing build-up. It's also an option that you can use instead of Poison Spray. For fire, Flame Torrent spells, or you can use any fire spells. For our helm, we're gonna use Holosun. Holosun will allow us every time we crit, so this of course is a critical strike build, to generate a stack of bleed. We're gonna combine Holosun with Blood Rings, up to 2. If you're not in New Game Plus, then you can only get 1 Blood Ring. In that case, you can easily use a Poison Ring from Act 2, or you can use a Mana Ring, or you can use the Perilous Orbs from Act 1, that will give you a little bit of extra crit. For our boots, we're gonna use Holosun. Holosun will give you movement speed depending on the stacks of bleed on an enemy. We convert movement speed multiplier into spell damage through one of our perks, so that is still good. However, if you don't like Holosun or you're not generating enough bleed, then you can always go with a Spell Warden. If you don't like the extra mana cost or you cannot sustain it, then you can even use a Crow Boots by doing the Children of Morrigan questline in Act 1. To save Vidar, and then you need to betray Vidar by siding with Self. However, Crow Boots should not be necessary. We're gonna use 3 pieces of Royal, come from Act 2, main boss. Now, I know that there are other items that can replace this item easily. However, if you plan to do so, you will need to make up those sources of crit that you lost, because on this build I want to hit 100%. So this is a very cookie cutter setup and I like it, it's quite effective. For back item, Thorns on the Netherbloom is optional. It's the best one because it will give you some spell power and some critical damage. However, the quantity of crit is still the same through our back option. You cannot increase that one. So the welfare option is Wings of the Oracle. This one is not crafted. You don't need to do the quest line for the Alchemist Guild or to pray to the giant in Act 3 to get this item. For Amulet, we're gonna use Art of a Flame. This one will allow us to apply burn without having to use burn spell or the Wand of Lingering Ash. It's from Act 3, so it comes little late. However, it's not restricted by a quest or a hard boss to kill. You just need to walk all over there, get into the cave, boom, you have it. Now let's look at our attributes. Alright, these are our stats. What are the minimum requirements for this build, Pasta? This is incredibly easy. We want 15 points spirituality, 10 in endurance. We can even go higher in endurance. Practicality points here are here just because people always ask, Pasta, can I play a build where I can put points of practicality? Practicality will allow you to make gold, but usually people just pop out an origin potion or farm gold for this. But regardless, if you don't want those points in practicality, then you just move them to spirituality for spell power. Like all the footage that I showed you was in veteran with practicality on. So again, it's not a big deal having a lot of points in practicality in this build. The important part is getting that critical chance at 100%. Okay, fine, Pasta, how do we level up this build? We're starting in spirituality, 8 points in spirituality. After you get your 8 points in spirituality, we go 6 endurance. We're still gonna focus on spirituality and hit that 15. And then 10 endurance. Now, remember what I said earlier. Critical strike is incredibly important. So we're gonna start with buffing our crit chance. Remember to do the druid shrines in every single act. If you want to start putting practicality points earlier, you will be weaker, but the build will still work. However, don't just put 30 points in practicality and forget about crit, because from now on you can go maybe 15, 20, and then you start to put 10, and then you start to go for perception. Minimum amount of crit that I want to see on this build is at least 80. And afterwards, you do what you want. If you want to put more points in endurance for more HP or spirituality, perception, doesn't matter. Now let's look at our skill tree. We start to level up immediately in practicality. 1 exploitation affliction, 3 potent poison. We're gonna start with blood transfusion, then we swap immediately to poison spray. Then exploitation affliction. Once we have the blood ring equipped, stacking peril, and afterward rising scourge. Then we go in dexterity, 1 point in strong arm of the bowmaster, 3 points in marksman. In spirituality, 3 points in arcane conduit, 1 mastery, max mana battery, invigorating energy, power and swiftness. Then in combat, arcane teaching, tiresome wave, imbibed by the elements, elemental infusion. Then we go in perception, we max extra lucky, critical cascade. Then 1 point in respite and cruelty, max deep wounds, 2 points in critical aegis, 2 points in bloodthirst. As soon as we unlock red death in Act 2, plague warden maxed. And then energy feedback loop. Then we're gonna put 3 points in arcane mark, 3 points in elemental shock, 1 point in godly physique, 2 points in executioner, 3 points in increased vitality. Now, I know what you're thinking, Pasta. Can't I just put early points here and immediately in mercantile? As I said, this build has extra points. However, before you go gun-ho crazy, I will still advise you, after you do your thing in practicality, to at least put some extra points in red death. Still advise to go with sorcerer efficiency for mana sustain. Then you want, of course, to go for the eyes. And then, if you want to invest in practicality, you can. The last points that I advise to take are at least healthy appetite, rejuvenation, Almother blessing, and unnatural resilience. Now, let's look at the Sarras tree. Alright, we have 7 points. We are gonna play in Mystic. First point, Mana Spring, of course. Then we go down for Ebb and Flow. This does 2 things that are important. One is every time we do an heavy cast with Poison Spray, it's gonna deal extra damage. Till exposure, we're gonna take a Recovery Focus, and then Rally Counter. And that's it. Now let's look at the best start and the leveling section, and then the location of all the items. Okay, as a life path we are gonna start as a healer. Blood transfusion is gonna be our early spell until we can get poison spray. Get the HP statuette, the pickaxe, and the shovel. Then you can kill the great sword guy for some extra loot. Don't forget to get the mana ring by trading one potion with the woman. Don't forget to kill the monk. Don't forget to get that potion of origin before leaving. Then we can kill our barbarian friend for some extra loot and XP. This is optional, of course. Is he relevant to the story? Well, not that much. But if you want to keep him alive, up to you. Get the HP ring. And before leaving, you can also kill Caradoc for some extra XP. If you want to do so, you may want to bug him by just jumping on the boat. Otherwise, you can fight him at far and dodging arrows, whatever floats your boat, technically.
A good strike, but I won't fall so easily. A good strike, but I won't fall so easily. I don't back down.
Let's get that recipe and the tag before leaving the starting area. We can get the letter for the Shady Merchant as well. That one will open up 3 more quests for you. Don't forget to get every druid shrine. The locations are on Map Genie. These bonuses are permanent and they are amazing. Moreover, it's free gear that even if you don't use, you can sell. The first early set that you can get is the old druid set. It will give you a little bit of mana regeneration. It has very low requirements. You just need to be careful to not get poked to death by a red cap. The priest cloak is quite amazing to start out, very easy to get. It will give you 1% mana regeneration, which doesn't sound a lot, but it's gonna be a good back item for the first 2 parts of the game. Don't forget to kill Abigor for some extra XP and loot. As a mage, this is extremely easy to do. Just don't get killed, easy. Now we go on the cave. Regardless if you killed Caradoc or you didn't, Caradoc is gonna be here. He's a very nasty dude and, well, it's more XP that you can get from him and more loot.
You'll pay for that. Impressive hit, but it'll take more to defeat me.
Once you have 3 deer's antler, just kill random deers and get them. You can activate the deer shrine. Our next upgrade will come in the form of Spellslinger. Spellslinger is quite good, it will only require spirituality.
We're not safe here. Remain vigilant. I will be your downfall. I've had worse. I will be your downfall.
Once you get access to the Old Mother Temple camp, which you can do at any moment regardless of story progression, you can buy yourself 1 bonus attribute point. The other one is in the crypt where the necromancer is. It's gonna be on top of a barrel near the entrance.
Getting restless.
Remain vigilant.
The beast lies slain, its heart and mind laid.
And that's it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing for more gaming content. Maybe not Tainted Grail. We shall see what happens in the future. I think I'm catching up on most of the builds that I wanted to do, unless I get more ideas. If you have any question or doubts, let me know in the comments below. Have fun playing the game, and I will see you in the next video.